hailing frequencies are open.
The Phoenix Files podcast starts now.
Hey everybody, and welcome into another episode of Phoenix Files. I am Trent, joined once again by Jal and Moltrazahn. Guys, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
And we have a very special guest joining us on the podcast this time around. Say hello to Ryan, everybody.
Howdy.
Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. It's good to see you here.
Nice to have you with us.
I'm just excited to be here.
Well, good. We are glad to have you in. We're going to talk to Ryan a little bit about his character, about being Chief Tactical Officer, about the fleet at large, and what the fleet is doing right now. And maybe if we have time to talk a little bit more about Starfleet and where we go from here. But welcome in. So, Ryan, let's just get started. Tell us a little bit about your character.
Well, as y'all know, Ryan is the Chief Tactical Officer of the fleet, and he was kind of born in a suburban area, I guess you could say. Went through elementary, middle school, high school pretty normally, and then his life kind of went to crap when his dad, who was actually a vice admiral in Starfleet Command, he ran a deep space outpost. It ended up that he was overseeing some experimental weapons, and that, we'll just say, for the sake of keeping it canon-ish, that the reactor in the space station blew up, and he ended up dying. And so after that, once Ryan got the word, his life really took a turn for the worse, and he started hanging out with the wrong group of people. I'm sorry if I'm going off on a limb here. I'm just really excited.
Go for it. You tell us all about him.
Yeah, so he started hanging out with the wrong people, experimenting with drugs, alcohol, all that kind of stuff. And he really found a mentor in a Starfleet ensign named Rory. And Rory kind of put him back on the right track, and he got accepted into Starfleet Academy. He majored in tactical analysis, which is what he currently does right now, and he just dove into his studies and enveloped. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. He just surrounded himself in his studies, and he ended up graduating valedictorian of his class. So, guess kind of a happy ending for now. And after that, he got assigned to the USS Justicar as the Chief Tactical Officer. Spent about 2 years there, and then he got promoted to its first officer. And during that time, he got a call from a merchant vessel and the Dengaris system, and it got disabled by some electromagnetic field stuff, like voodoo stuff, we'll just say that. And so
Magic.
So he went in, and what actually ended up happening, it was ambushed by an unknown cloaked vessel, and it was so bad that there were protomatter torpedoes being used, and hit him in the life support area, and Ryan could only save 1/4 of the crew, and the captain ended up dying. So this was really a crucial turning point for Ryan, actually, because he just went back into the hole that he had been in high school, and he didn't want anything to do with Starfleet anymore. He was so depressed. He thought he had failed the crew and the captain that he was serving under. And so after that, he put in a request for reassignment to a conveniently named space outpost called Serenity Outpost in 2407, and he spent about a year there until he realized this isn't what he needed to be doing. He wanted to go back out there and actually explore the frontier and do what he had originally joined Starfleet for. And so, about 10 years down the road, he is here in the 5th Special Operations Division as the Fleet Tactical Officer. So, yeah.
I like
Awesome.
getting some of that background because I think he's often, his appearance to us is very straight-laced officer. So it's interesting hearing that he, didn't always have an easy time of it.
Indeed, I didn't. There was lots of details here that I did not get when Arkin was sneaking into his room and reading his diary.
But yeah, so how do you think that transition to Chief Tactical Officer has been? How are you finding playing that, and how do you feel like that fits into Ryan's career path?
Oh, I love being able to play as the Chief Tactical Officer of the fleet. It's just so fun being able to do all this paperwork that I get assigned by Trent and Zhao.
So fun,
filling out
right?
reports.
Paperwork. It's the best part.
No, but I really love it. And Ryan loves it. He's right in his element. I tried to RP Ryan as a very ambitious character, but it's not to the point where he like shows it a lot. Ryan loves to study history, and he got one of his favorite quotes from a U.S. president is "Speak softly, but carry a big stick."
Yes.
So that's kind of where his like very strict demeanor comes from. Like, hey, I'm not gonna insult you or get up in your face, but if you mess with me, I'm gonna ruin your life, pretty much. And so he's definitely right where he wants to be right now. I'm not sure if I answered that question completely, but he really he's just in his element right now.
No,
that
that's
seems
great
to
to
be
hear.
good. Yeah. So jumping a bit forward here, obviously with the latest event, with the entire incident surrounding the merge, the attack by Mirror Trent, the fleet in characterly obviously is pretty on edge right now. What's it like for a guy like Ryan to manage such a large security issue so soon in his new job?
Well, glad you asked. He's been pretty stressed about this whole thing because it's like his first month on the job, and he's already being thrown into this whole mirror warfare situation. It's had its ups and downs. Coming from Ryan's kind of ambitious side, he's almost glad that this happened because he knows that this is an opportunity for him to stand out and potentially rise through the ranks. So yeah, but one of his best moments, I guess, during this is where he almost slammed the head of Mirror Trent into a table. That was very fun to do.
Wasn't so
But
much fun for me or Trent, but
That was a fun interrogation, though.
that was. I loved being able to do it. We learned a lot of good information about Mirror Trent. Not sure how much of it was truthful, but it was still
Well,
fun nonetheless.
for everybody that might be listening to this that doesn't know, we did an interrogation with Mirror Trent. Did we write a report on that? I think there's a report on the
Yeah, Ryan wrote a
forum.
report
Yeah.
for that.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, we did an interrogation of Mirror Trent not long after he was revealed to not be from this or from their universe. So
He was quite sassy.
yeah, he
Oh.
tended to talk back a little bit.
Big ball of sass.
Somehow I'm imagining that scene from The Dark Knight with Batman sitting with the Joker.
That's where I got the idea from. I was like, this would be really cool to be able to do. Let's go for it.
Mirror Trent's the Dark Knight in that scenario, right?
Mirror
Okay.
Trent, swear at me.
So, Ryan, with everything that's been happening, tell me a little bit about what some of the things the fleet might be doing right now with this issue, and then combined with that, what are they doing just to sort of recover and pick up the pieces after all of this?
So starting with the first part to the question, Ryan kind of went around after all this action had taken place and asked a majority of the fleet members, "Hey, what could we have done to improve our security protocols and respond to this better?" And the biggest complaint that he got from the other officers was that response protocols were nowhere near where they should have been. And so, what Ryan is doing on a personal level to be able to respond to threats better, he's drafting brand new response protocols for the fleet because he personally does not agree with the ones that Starfleet has laid out. He thinks that they're a little bit too general for what the 5th Special Operations is trying to achieve in the Delta Quadrant. Writing brand new ones, and on a fleet-wide level, he sent in a request to Starfleet Command to have a Mako strike team on standby at all times. So that'll be interesting in case we ran into any bad guys in the near future. And also, he is inspecting the starbase, I guess, as we speak right now. And just making sure everything is up to par there. And for the second part of that question, I think that this whole endeavor really took a huge toll on every single person in the fleet on a personal and a fleet-wide level. And I really think that one of the biggest things that everyone's doing to recover from this is just grow closer together, honestly. There's been a lot more RP lately, especially around the bar and kitchen area. Thank you for doing that, Gherkin. I hope I pronounced that right. Can we really get him a cooking show? He needs one.
I think he does. Yeah, he needs at least a segment, cooking segment. I understand, Molt, you're against that idea.
Filthy Klingons.
But yeah, I think that everyone's just trying to grow closer together in light of what's happened, and that the only way we can prevail is like united. So
Filthy united companionship.
Let's scan everybody constantly for their quantum signature. No more.
Oh yeah, that
people.
sounds easy enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just you walk up to someone, say hi, scan them with a tricorder. It's fine.
He's also put an FBI agent in every single webcam.
Yeah. Now that's security. That's what we're talking about.
There you go.
But yeah, so you mentioned about what we're here to do in the Delta Quadrant, and a lot of that is like scientific discovery. We're in unexplored space. We've had some security issues, but that is ultimately the fleet's mission. So yeah, how do you feel now that we're in a more peaceful state about the fleet being able to get back to that a little bit and explore?
Oh, I love it. It's what Ryan came here to do. Like, he originally joined Starfleet to be able to explore and find these new civilizations, new life, new scientific discoveries. Even though he's a tactical officer, he still has a great respect for the sciences and the science division, and he would love to work closer with them. And honestly, he's super excited to be able to get out there again, because one of the things that he misses from being just a regular captain to going to fleet captain is being able to be on his own starship, because obviously he's very tied down with paperwork. Thank you, admirals. For that.
You're welcome.
And he just misses being able to get out there. And so I think that now that the fleet is in a timepiece, he's definitely going to get that opportunity. So he's looking forward to that.
Looking at innovation from a wider lens and sort of a meta way, I suppose, Starfleet, as we see it in the lore, is all about discovery and innovation, etc. How do you think that compares to where humans are today? Do we share any of these same goals as Starfleet in the game?
Well, yeah, I think that we definitely do, but obviously we're not as technologically advanced. Hopefully, by the time we get to the 2400s will be where they are today. But ever since, I guess, I don't want to get too poetic here, but ever since the dawn of time, I guess, man and woman have been looking up to the stars and they've just felt like a sense of wonder. And every time I look up there, I just was like, wow, there has to be something else out there and there's so much for us to explore. And so I'm very excited for where humans are actually going today. A while back in 2017, Elon Musk actually famously stated that he's going to try to put a man on Mars in 2024, even though I don't think it's going to happen until 2035.
Yeah. I think we can. The four of us here can beat him at that.
Definitely.
You
I
go
think-
have fun with that. I don't want any poop potatoes. Hashtag reference.
So yeah, I think we're actually seeing a lot of benefits from where humans are exploration wise, not just like for the sake of exploration, which is why a lot of people kind of speak out against it. They think we're just going out there just to say we've gone out there, but we're actually seeing a lot of benefits come from it. Medicinal benefits, national security, stuff like that. And I think that a little bit down the road, we'll definitely end up getting to where we can actually put a man on Mars. And, so, yeah.
I think it's exciting times that we're entering. Really,
Oh,
I mean, when
definitely.
you think about it, I think with the rate that things are happening, I'm really excited for the next 10, 20 years. I don't know about you guys.
Also,
Can't
just,
wait for it.
like, yay, Elon Musk.
Right?
Gotta love him.
Indeed.
I'm
just
jealous
kinda-
of that guy.
I just want to kind of be the negative Nancy and say, I hope they put a woman on Mars. See what I did there?
Excellent. I approve.
Somewhere Gherkin is yelling females.
Probably.
His Ferengi self.
Well, thanks, Ryan, so much for coming on and telling us all about your character and about where we're going from here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, you're gonna stick around with us, right?
Yikes. There's more.
There's
You
more.
want
There's
to,
more.
But
There's
there's
more.
paperwork and
I know we're so hard to be around. We're really quite awful company.
uh,
So the next topic we want to talk about, we're going to try and dance around a little bit because we want to try to avoid spoilers as much as we can here.
But fair
but-
warning, probably
but-
some spoiler alerts
Yeah,
here.
so fair warning, be careful if you are listening to the
Spoiler
rest of
alert.
this at your own risk. Definitely listening to this at your own risk. Anyway, the anniversary event obviously going right now as we tape this podcast. And the featured episode, which I am not going to try to pronounce, Jal can explain it better than I can.
I don't remember what it was called.
It's
Scylla and
that
Scylla and
Scylla and
Oh,
Charybdis.
Scylla and Charybdis. Yes.
Charybdis.
Right.
Yes.
Charybdis,
Mythology.
there we go.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. The episode I thought was incredible, and it reveals some pretty important things without saying who it revealed at the end. I think it pretty well guarantees that we are headed to the Gamma Quadrant in the next expansion of STO, which I don't know about you guys, but I think that's really exciting.
Thank goodness.
well, have they actually stated we're going to the Gamma Quadrant?
They have not officially. They haven't. I don't even know if they've officially stated there's a expansion coming out, but they haven't said no either. So
It's all
Well,
hearsay.
True. Well, I had the pleasure of playing it, I think, a few days ago because Trent said, "Hey, let's try this thing," and I said, "Okay, do I have to?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll come with you." And I said, "Okay." And will there be things to shoot? And he said,
that's exactly how I sounded. Yeah.
exactly like it sounded. And I will admit there was plenty of things to shoot at, and plenty of known locations to go visit of a certain series that some people love, some people hate, some people are in between, but it's definitely one we are familiar with in STO.
Definitely.
And there was lots of pew pew.
Lots
And
of pew pew, a lot of it.
yes, and certain Klingons were talking, and other significant historical characters also came around. That wasn't me trying to paraphrase. That was just my tongue deciding to rebel.
Resistance is futile.
Yes.
Well, so what would you guys like to see in an expansion if we get one, especially if it's based around the Gamma Quadrant coming this summer? Are there things that you guys in particular would really like to see happen?
More species. I want us to, because there's so little about the Gamma Quadrant. I mean, we had things coming through the wormhole in DS9. Occasionally they went once or twice they went there. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of species and races that they could really elaborate on and make playable.
In that vein, there's probably a lot that isn't even canon that they could sort of create out of the Gamma Quadrant that we haven't even thought of or talked about yet.
I want to see more about the Dominion, of course.
Yes,
I am
Dominion.
all about those powerful factions hiding in the depths of the galaxy, and in several places of STO, they mention, in alternative timelines that the Dominion has taken over or is attacking. I want to see the Dominion have an active role, and I want to see that role get challenged and decimated by the return of the Borg.
Ooh, wow.
That was a turn.
Go on.
Oh, I'd really like to see a playable Gamma Quadrant, because right now, as it stands, I'm pretty sure you can only visit the Gamma Quadrant on certain missions, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
So I'd really like to be able to just roam around the Gamma Quadrant and take some really cool screenshots.
Totally, yeah. Just see a bunch of stuff that we've never seen before. Explore. Just like we were saying, it's all about exploration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was just going to say, I've been thinking about this because we often say, well, we've explored the Alpha and the Beta Quadrant, and oh, now we're in the Delta Quadrant, and oh, but we haven't touched the Gamma Quadrant. And I could be wrong, but I am thinking those are all inaccurate statements because the galaxy is very large. And to just divide it up into 4 places, those are still 4 very, very large places.
That's
true. And we never really talk about like the corners of say the Alpha and the Beta Quadrants. I'm sure there's also lots there that we have
like
not
the very far edges of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got our little bubbles. Yes. So
that's a good point.
I do like the Gamma Quadrant being included, but it is funny to me.
Also, we have the center of the galaxy.
True.
True.
That's true.
Just rewatch Star Trek V.
Yeah, we did. That's right. This was not that long ago. That's a good point, though, because I mean that's the nice thing, I guess, about having a game that's based in space, right? Is space is huge, so there should be no shortage of material.
Can always expand.
Well, I personally am looking forward to it. I'm excited to see what they come up with. Assuming they are coming up with something, as I said, as you pointed out, Molt, that they haven't actually said this yet, as far as I'm aware. But I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens.
And if you have not played the featured mission, you should, because it's very good. And I would suggest Area of Effect. That will make you happy.
That is a good point. Yes. Bring that Area of Effect.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Well, we are almost out of time for this podcast, but we are, since we've got Ryan here, our special guest, we're going to do a little canon rapid fire. Are you ready for this, Ryan?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Ready as you'll ever be. All right. Well, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So what we're going to do this time is I'm going to give a person a random article from Memory Alpha. They don't see the article, they just get the title. They have 30 seconds to tell me what that is, or tell the group what that is. And if they don't know, they have to make it up. Be convincing here, okay? You're trying to trick the other people if you don't know what you're talking about, all right? You guys ready?
Okay.
All right, Ryan, do you want to do the honors first? I'll give you the first article.
I guess so.
All right. I'll set the timer. Okay, so I'll give you an easy one. All right, your first one is MOBA fruit. What is MOBA fruit?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Trent. MOBA fruit, as it says, is a type of fruit that was grown in the MOBA tree. First discovered, I guess, late 2300s, and it is a very tasty fruit. Kind of looks like a cantaloupe, except it's not the same color. And yeah.
All right. There you go. Was he telling the truth, guys?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Actually, he was. MOBA fruit is grown on a MOBA tree. Might have been wrong about the date, but grown in Bajor, and it's red in color. So
It's
he was not
Bajor.
wrong. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
a
why I
Bajoran
didn't know.
fruit. Yeah.
Okay, cantaloupes
so
are
you were
orange,
right.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, you
Huh.
were right. Yes.
High
So there you
five.
go. Good job, Ryan. All right,
Nice
Molt.
work.
Molt,
Yes.
you are up next.
Oh yay.
And you have. Let's give you something good here. Sharon Conley.
Sharon Conley.
30 seconds.
Sharon Conley is I believe that she is a civilian that the crew of the Star Trek Enterprise crew, the first Star Trek ship, they meet her when they go back in time to prevent the, what are they called, those 7 races that have destroyed part of Earth or something. I forget their name. Yeah, Cindy, those are the ones. And she helps Admiral Archer, no, not Admiral, Captain Archer at this point, and to Paul, I think, to actually locate and find these Zindi reptilians that are located in the city. I think she was meant to be one of the victims, but is not.
All right, Joel and Ryan. Is he telling the truth?
I'm gonna have to go with yes.
I'm gonna say no, but I'm impressed with the conviction of that.
That's the name of the game, right? It was not true. That was not true. Sharon Conley is an actress that played Jomot Lucen in Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode Cardassians. She's also been on LA Law and NYPD Blue.
You should be an actor, Molt. You're very convincing.
Well, you never know. Arkin has some tricks with fooling people into believing things. Cough. Foreshadowing. Cough.
All right, let me get you an article here, Joel. Let's get you something good here. Okay, here we go. Are you ready, Joel?
Yes.
Okay, you have 30 seconds to tell us who James Duff is.
James Duff.
James Duff.
James Duff. He was on Deep Space Nine. He was a visiting captain that came by, I believe, in support of the Defiant when the Dominion War was happening. That's all I remember about him.
There you go. Okay. Ryan Molt, telling the truth?
I completely believed everything she just said.
I don't think that's true.
Ryan, you are right. It is not true. James
We're all
Duff
liars here.
James Duff was a writer on Star Trek Enterprise.
You're giving us more things out of canon.
I'm just telling you,
issue.
it's Memory
Take
Alpha.
umbrage.
That's what don't blame me. Don't blame me. All right, Ryan, you're the guest. So you get one more.
Oh goody.
Yes. So you have 30 seconds to tell the group about the strange case of Mr. Cigars. What is that?
Well, Mr. Cigar. I'm glad you asked about that because the strange case of Mr. Cigars was a case that they ran into on Deep Space Nine, and this was a very interesting case that they ran into because, you know what, I'm not even going to play around anymore. I have no idea what that is.
That is the weirdest sounding article.
Believe it or not, this is an article on Memory Alpha. The Strange Case of Mr. Cigars was a movie, a horror movie that was listed in the motion picture library found on the Enterprise, in Enterprise, the first Enterprise, NX-01.
I just want to say that I believed him when he said that he didn't know.
A point for Molt.
Yay!
There you go. Molt wins.
Oh,
Canon
you.
rapid fire for today. Good job, Molt. Anyway, that's all the time we have for here on Phoenix Files. I want to thank Ryan again for coming on board today. Thanks for coming in, Ryan.
Thank you all for having me.
Thank you, Ryan. It was an absolute pleasure.
Excellent to have you here.
Absolutely. Well,
thank you all.
thank you guys so much for listening. And with that is our episode of Phoenix Files. 3 to beam up.
4.
4 to
5.
beam up. Thank you.
Aw, he left me.
Oops.
I mean, he is a red shirt, so.
True. Okay. 4 to beam up. Bye, guys.